morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Well, hey, let's get started right now. Hey, bad year for my teams, Eagles, Jets, but I represent. It was a hard-fought year. I like to see the fact that they're going to give Todd Bowles one more year. But Todd Bowles, you need to have a tremendous offseason and an even better season next year. Because if they didn't bring you back, it would have been okay with me. The New York Jets has to turn it around. They're going to be picking 6 in the draft. They need so much. The bad thing about it, with the draft order coming out for the first 20 picks in each round, there's some teams that are ahead of the Jets that has the same needs. Whether it's Cleveland, whether it's San Francisco, whether it's Chicago, they're all in need of a quarterback. So you got to figure that if there's any quality quarterbacks that is coming out in that round or left in those rounds, you got to figure Cleveland, San Francisco, and Chicago will get first crack at it. The Jets won some meaningless games towards the end of the season for pride, for whatever reason, I don't know. But they won some meaningless games that might have hurt their draft selection. Cleveland needs a quarterback. I love RG3. I wish him all the best, but he's not dependable. This guy here, if there's anybody in the league that gets injured easier than Romo, it's RG3. This guy cannot stay on the field for at least 4 games a season. That's not going to get it done. It's sad to say a guy with this much talent and this much respect is probably going to be a journeyman backup for the next 3 or 4 seasons before you see him out of football. I cannot see a team saying going into training camp or starting a season with him being their number 1 quarterback. He has the talent, but he doesn't have the pension to stay healthy. So I look for them to be looking for a quarterback. I look for San Francisco to look for a quarterback. Oh, great news in San Francisco for you 49er fans. Chip Kelly has just been fired. That's great news for you guys. I don't know how he even got a job. And if he gets another job, it would just be atrocious. He's a train wreck waiting to happen. He needs to go back to college ranks. He's just not prepared for the NFL. Just not prepared for the NFL. He should not have a job. He should not have a job. He has done nothing in the NFL but ruin franchise. He's ruined the Eagles, and now he's ruined San Francisco. He doesn't deserve a job. So San Francisco will be looking for a quarterback, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. They're looking for a quarterback. And then Chicago. If you think Mark Sanchez is bad coming out of USC, Matt Barkley is even worse. He's thrown 10 interceptions in the last 3 games. So they're in need of a quarterback. I doubt if they bring Jay Cutler back. All right. So those 3 teams are in need of a quarterback, and I don't see a possible trade for Tony Romo. I just don't see it. So the Jets is going to have some company when coming thinking about a quarterback. And those teams also need running backs. So, and that's probably the 2 biggest needs that the Jets have. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the Jets do the unthinkable and move up. I don't know if that's wise because they need all their picks as well. It's not like they're a player away from making noise. All right? And I got to applaud the GM over there in Philly, the team that I root for. Last year he rolled the dice. He traded up. I believe it was with Cleveland, and they got Cleveland's pick, and they drafted Wentz, which is quarterback of the future. Wentz did a good job. He set the rookie record for completions yesterday in the win over Dallas. But more importantly, he turned around and recouped the first-round pick from Minnesota by trading Bradford. So instead of picking 12, Philly is picking 14 and already have their quarterback of the future. Great GMing, if that's if that's a word or a phrase. That was great GMing on behalf of Philadelphia. What a move that was. That was smart. So going into the first round, they won't be without. They'll have a first round pick instead of 12. They'll be picking 14. And hopefully they can either address the offensive line, but if not, definitely wide receiver. They should be looking at the top 2 wide receivers on the board. All right, moving along. Cleveland do have 2 draft picks. They have the first and the 12th. Tennessee has 2 draft picks because they had the good fortunes of trading with the Rams as they went after Goff last year. So they have the Rams pick at number 5, and then they have their own pick at I believe it's number 18. So they'll look to address some issues. And surprisingly, both Denver and Carolina, who was in the Super Bowl, they'll both will be picking in the top 20. Carolina, I believe, is picking number 8, and Denver is picking number 20. So you got some notable draft, right? Notable positions right there in this upcoming draft. And Jets, you need to be very active, very active. This is a pivotal point for you guys, especially for the tenure of Todd Bowles. It could be a make it or break it situation. The drafting could either save his job or help him lose his job. So very, very important, very important moment for the Jets this offseason. Well, moving right along, as the season concluded, what a season it was. What a season it was. We're going to talk about it in the upcoming days, but what a season it was. It filled with a lot of surprises, a lot of stories, a lot of headlines, and some unfortunate headlines. But what a season it was as it came to a close. Just what a season it was. You know, this is what I would like to do. I like to hear from you guys. Inbox me, text me, call me. Give me any comment or a storyline that you think stood out the most this year. And we'll chop it up. We'll chop it up. Give me the headline. So many that comes to my mind. Sexy Rexy gets fired. Of course, the Cowboys. That's a story. Aaron Rodgers. That's a story. Matt Ryan. Looks like he returns back to Matty Ice. That's a story. Elliott. That's a story. Derek Carr. That's a story. It's so many storylines out there. Share one with me. Share many with me. And we'll talk about it. I have no problem with it. But now that the season concluded, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers going to the playoffs, maybe the hottest team right now. The hottest team, I believe they won something like 7, 8 in a row. They could be the hottest team in football right now. When I tell you, that matchup on Sunday night is going to be one for the ages. Yes, indeed. You got Aaron Rodgers, who's been hot the last 7, 8 weeks. He must have saw the show when I said it was time for Mike McCarthy to get fired. Because ever since that show, they haven't lost a game. They have not lost a game. And like I said, they're the hottest team going in. But then they face the Giants. Now, let me tell you something about the Giants. I'm not the biggest Eli Manning fan. I am not. This is not the Giants' defensive old. But they have some defense in that secondary. That is for sure. But I know one thing. Eli Manning is usually clutch around January. He is clutch in January. This one could be the game of the weekend coming up. Giants go into Green Bay. Remember, the Giants have won there in the playoffs. So this one is going to be a lot of fun. Might be the best game of the weekend. I think Oakland catches a break. I think that they can beat Houston with their third string quarterback, Connor Cook. Connor Cook was a standout over at Michigan State. Had a very good career there. I think they can beat Houston. So Oakland, I think they catch a break there. Detroit, Seattle, I think Detroit is going to lose that game. They are going into the playoffs, losers of 3 straight games, have lost their mojo, lost their edge. I don't think they find it in Seattle. There's a story there. Matthew Stafford He's probably top 10 in consideration for MVP, especially what he's done without Megatron. I don't think anybody expected a season like this and a finish like this. So that's a story, but I think the season comes to an end up in Seattle. And not that Seattle was playing great. It's just that Seattle's at home, and they're maybe the better team right now. So I look for a good game, but I think Seattle prevails. You got Miami goes into Pittsburgh, two hot teams. Pittsburgh, when they beat the Giants, they've been rolling ever since. They're probably one of the hottest teams as well, but being at home, they taking on the Miami Dolphins. That also was hot. They won 7 of their last 9 games. They had a tough loss yesterday against the Patriots. But I tell you what, I think this is going to be a good game. But this is the one game I think Miami is going to really miss Tannehill. Don't know if he gets back in there for the first week of the playoffs. But this is at home, Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh in this game. I like Pittsburgh in this game. I like Pittsburgh. So for the first 4 games, I'm taking Oakland on the road over Houston. I'm going with Pittsburgh at home over Miami. I'm going with Seattle at home over Detroit. And I'll get back to you in a couple of days on the Giants and Green Bay. This is not an easy win at all for Green Bay. At all. The Giants is a tough team. They've been tough all year. And like I said, Eli Manning is clutch this time of the year. It's hard to bet against him. He gets on the road just as well. And next thing you know, the Giants are looking up and they're in the Super Bowl. And you say, with what and with who and how? But yes, he can be clutch this time of the year. So that should be the game. That will be the game right there. That will be the game. In other news in the NFL, Dallas did play a game. They lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, something I expected. They were playing just because they were scheduled. They didn't want to get anybody hurt. We all understand that. We get that. They did let Dak Prescott get out there and get a little sweat on him, which was a good thing, because with the week off, you don't want that momentum to go away. But there was a Tony Romo sighting. He played a series. He went 3 for 4, 29 yards, threw a nice crispy touchdown pass to the back of the end zone. He looked sharp. I was a little surprised that they played him. It might be best that they did so you can just get a little action, some game action. But I was surprised that they played him because, again, with Mark Sanchez coming in there and throwing 2 interceptions and just doesn't look like he could be a number 2 quarterback at this point, the last thing you wanted to do is have Romo hurt going into the playoffs. Because you don't want Mark Sanchez getting on the field, and he showed that yesterday. But nevertheless, he broke a little sweat. He got out there, and he showed that if Dak should get hurt, not if Dak, and hear me out, people, not if Dak is not doing well, or Dak threw an interception, or Dak fumbled the ball. If Dak gets hurt, they can go to Romo. Because Dak deserves to play every snap of these playoffs, regardless to the outcome of the game. He deserves to play every snap of the playoffs. The Cowboys were 4-12 last year. They're 13-3, led by 2 rookies. What a tremendous story that is. That could be the story of the year. That could be the story of the year. It really can. It really can. This guy's throwing like 25 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions, throwing over 3,300 yards, 3,400 yards, has a completion rate percentage of somewhere around 65%. This is a rookie we talking about, guys. This is a rookie. Elliott leads the league in rushing. He doesn't play the last 6 quarters of the season. That's a rookie too. Tremendous story in Dallas. Tremendous story. So Like I said, there was a Tony Romo signing, and he looked pretty sharp. 3 for 4, led a touchdown drive, back in the end zone, nice little pass. I mean, are we expecting anything more? Anything less? Tony Romo's a good quarterback in this league. Hey, you can make the case he's a top 10 quarterback when playing and healthy. He just has a bonehead play in his arsenal every game. That's the problem with him. It's not about he can't play or can he play or should he play. The guy can play. Listen, once the Cowboys decide what their fate going to be with him, whether they cut him, release him, and chances are they're going to release him. I don't think anybody trades for him. Where he's not going to have any shortage of suitors knocking on his door. From Denver to Chicago, I can see those two teams knocking on his door. Possibly even the Jets. But I think he goes to a situation, if he's going to risk it, he's going to go to a team where he has a chance to win. And that'd probably be Denver. That's a good look for him in Denver. And Denver will be no stranger to this. They took a chance when they went after Peyton Manning, a guy who had those 2-3 neck surgeries, missed a year. They took a chance on him. As a result of it, they went to 2 Super Bowls and won one in 3 years. Maybe that's the team for Tony Romo. John Elway may roll the dice on that if he's released or cut. Because that salary is too much to trade. All right? Listen, before I wrap it up, in the NFL, in the NBA, what an exciting game in my backyard at Phillips Arena last night. San Antonio came in. Coach Bud playing against his former boss and Pop. He's never beat them. He was down a little bit trailing in the fourth quarter. And then Millsap, Tim Hardaway, and Kyle Korver just put on a show from the fourth quarter through the overtime. I don't know who was more important, but between Hardaway Jr. and Millsap, they put on a show. Kyle Korver knocked in a couple of clutch threes. What a finish. What a game. What an exciting game it was as Atlanta secured the win. And it was the first time Coach Bud beat his former boss and Pop. It was just an exciting win. As I'm watching the game at home, the crowd was going bananas. It just was a fun game to watch. And to be able to watch that game in between a couple of NFL games, it was just a tremendous game. Tremendous game yesterday, and Atlanta's been on slightly of a roll, and now they've creeped up in the playoff spot. And as my Knicks, with their 4-game losing streak, that once upon a time was on the door of the 3 spot, is now in the 9th spot, looking in. I don't even want to get started, but that's the East for you folks. A 3-game winning streak, you can climb up to 5. A 4-game losing streak, you fall out of the playoffs. You gotta play the games and play to win. It don't get any easier from here in New York. It doesn't get any easier. Hey, that's gonna do it for the show. Lots to talk about in the week and the days to come. NFL, NBA. We'll start looking at college in a little bit. You got a good game on tonight, Penn State. I know the Penn State fans is gonna say should have sent us to the Final Four instead of Ohio State, as they embarrassed the conference. They embarrassed the conference. Ohio State black eye. Because, they got punched in the face. Not Buckeyes, black eyes. Because that's what they got. 31-0, they walked away with black eyes. Ohio State black eyes got embarrassed over the weekend and just shamed the conference. They should have sent the conference winner, Penn State. Not only that, Michigan gets beat to Florida State. Penn State, the only thing left. And Penn State got a lot of players on that team that's going to play on Sundays. So look for Penn State to do their thing tonight. So listen, this is Chopping It Up with Ramel. I'll see you guys at 24. Y'all have a great day and a great start to the new year. I'll look to do the same. Peace and blessings. See you guys soon.